You're listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and Fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good evening, and what a crazy, wonderful time it is to be a baseball fan here on the Jaybird Watching Podcast. I am your host, Craig Borden. With me, as usual, my partners, Liz McGuire and Jason Lyons. How the hell are you?
I'm really good. I just want to say that baseball is awesome. It's the best. I love postseason baseball. I've watched like 7 hours of baseball. My biggest problem yesterday is I couldn't watch the Dodgers game until the Yankees game was over. I missed the first hour of the Dodgers game, but you know what, guys? I made it through. Well, it was a crummy game. It was 8-0, a blowout from the Padres. Anyway, baseball is awesome.
Jason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm playing hurt this week. I've got my first cold, and I can't even remember how long. So that's why these deep, lucid tones sound a little bit like Darth Vader rolling in here. But I mean, to your point, Liz, I mean, I don't know if I can remember a more exciting set of playoffs ever. I mean, it all started with the play-in game a couple of weeks ago, and it has been pedal to the metal for. I mean, every time you turn on a game, something new, you're like, no lead is safe. I was watching that Dodgers game, and Teoscar hits a grand, just so much. There's so much to unpack. And like you said, I love it. You know, this has been the thing that really bothers me. Again, you know, what you were mentioning is, you know, like I turn my TV on. Of course, you know, I live in Canada, so hockey rules. But Sportsnet, just a tip: when baseball playoffs are on, don't put the Leafs and the Habs on in the middle of the day in Vancouver, because nobody gives a crap.
And also, if you notice on the other Sportsnet channel, it was like misplays of the month for hockey. It was like nothing. It was, they were playing like fluff. It was so weird.
Ottawa Senators practice. I mean, it's amazing to me that they think that there's people who just shut baseball off. Like, the Jays are out. Who cares? I mean, this is what you wait for. This is the kind of ball you want to watch all year long. Like, just all of it, like Iglesias and Lindor and Teoscar, and just like no show. And it's like it's unbelievable, the whole thing. I love it. Pumped.
Yeah, pumped.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just over here happy watching, you know, Reese Olson and the, you know, Tigers do what the Tigers are doing. As you know, if anybody wants to squint from the, you know, the American feed, you know, I got it behind me. I don't care about copyrights right now. We'll get in trouble. So I'm just trying to do like what the WWE people do. And it's like, hey, you know what? We're going to talk about the baseball game while it's going on live tonight. But before we dive into all the crazy, wild, oh my God level stuff that has been the MLB postseason, I do have to give a shout out to baseball's spring home in the Grapefruit League has been decimated by the, you know, Hurricane Milton, and I want to just make sure I give a shout out to anybody that has been obviously affected by that, displaced, any and all the above. And I hope for the love of God that you weren't one of the people that was in the trop when the roof started tearing off the other night. Like I said, I just can't give enough shout outs and hearts and listens to anybody that happens to be in the Florida area. So baseball fans obviously rejoice. I'm assuming the two of you guys have been seeing the videos that have been coming out of Florida.
I watched the video from inside the trop, and like, listen, Blue Jays fans, we have a complicated relationship with the trop. It's a stadium, but nobody wants to see another stadium's roof get torn off. It's sad for the fans. It's sad also, like, I feel bad for the Rays fans because they're already obviously going through it right now in the state of Florida, and then to possibly lose your stadium, that does break my heart.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been. You know, Craig, you're probably a little closer, but I've been in Florida when a hurricane was being predicted to make land, and we were leaving 2 days prior. But to watch, I remember this, I was very young, just to watch the entire of cities just start to sort of crumble on themselves because they know what's coming. I mean, none of us know what it's like until you've been through it, and just watching the complete madness. And again, I think this speaks to not the best coverage of some things. Like I'm struggling here in Vancouver because Facebook and a few other things have now cut off our local news. I don't even get to see national news on feeds like that if I'm trying to watch videos of what's going on. So, obviously thoughts go out to everybody in Florida. I've got friends, I've got family down there. They're all safe, thank goodness. And they all evacuated. And so this gets me to another thing, which I stop having as much, candor when I talk about the people that don't evacuate, the people that are given plenty of time to leave. And then they have to take other people and put their lives in danger because they don't want to leave their house, which means nothing. If you have insurance, your house means nothing. Pack your pictures up. They're probably on your phone anyways, and just get the hell out of there so the emergency people can get in there and save the actual people that need to be saved, not a couple of jackweeds that don't believe in hurricanes or whatever their problem is. I don't know.
Or just listening to too much fake news bullshit and propaganda that, there's apparently, weather is being created magically by people to screw up the vote in here in a few weeks. No, this is a fucking natural disaster.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
If you have not had a chance to see what happened in St. Petersburg, Florida, I've been to this ballpark a bunch of times, been to minor league stadiums all over Florida. This is absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah. There is cell phone towers in the St. Pete area that have fallen into buildings and fractured the buildings. This is the kind of damage that happens from a hurricane, a category 5 when it makes landfall. And like I said, if you have not seen the damage to the point, this is just mind-boggling level stuff. Please donate to the local Red Cross and anybody that you can to ensure that the people of Florida and baseball recover for these kind of things.
I mean, it makes baseball seem pretty small when you watch this. So it's it's one of those things that you can't change what's happening. We've smashed up the weather as a humanity, and we're having to deal with the extremes of that now. And my hope is that we can start to get back to a place where, we don't have to argue about a carbon tax because it's an important thing. We don't have to argue about, things like that. Like, they're important things. Like, stop the me, mine, and just realize that there's a giant world out there. And the more we crap on it, the worse it's going to get. And so it's heartbreaking to watch, and worse is coming now. Like, it's going to go up the coast, up into the Carolinas, and up that direction, and you'll probably even see some of the tail end of it, Craig, up there. And I find that insane to me, like that it reaches all the way up to New York, and there's not one single thing you can do about it. Mother Nature is an awesome, angry lady, and she cannot be messed with.
Kind of like the words "don't fuck with physics" come to mind. The same thing with "don't poke Mother Nature." And to that point, you are not kidding. This is one of those things in the United States that when we get these hurricanes that come up Florida, East Coast, anything, it goes all up and down the East Coast, and the ones that come in from the Atlantic Ocean go all the way as far as inland is like the Nebraskas and Indianas and all that kind of stuff too. So hurricanes not to be trifled with. And like I said, just to put a bow on that part of it. Like I said, just do what you can, people, to help out. There's a lot of people that, regardless of insurance and this is life's parts that they'll never recover fully. Houses are one things, being displaced. Funny enough, there was a sales guy that knocked on my door today that the people knew that their office in Florida was going to get decimated. So they, brought him up to the local offices up here in New York, just to give them jobs while all this stuff was going on. So the gentleman that knocked on my door earlier, I'm glad I got to have a nice chit chat with him for 20 minutes. I gave him some intel on the neighborhood here on where he might want to go for doing some of his sales work so he can earn a better commission. So I hope, Mitch, you're doing better on that whole thing. And obviously best wishes to anybody that is affected by the disaster and everything. And yeah, it sucks. But to that point, I hope at least you're going to be entertained by the crazy show that is Major League Baseball and what has been this postseason. Sorry, segueing from the frowny face to trying to get back to the Major League Baseball fun. This division series. I don't think the title of this episode properly puts it into place, even though, Liz, you did a hell of a good job with the title this evening of the
Yeah, I love it.
postseason mega death match, because
Let's
I don't know
go.
what else you can call what's going on, but it has been a glorious train wreck of watching these teams beat each other up so far. But Liz, give me your overall feeling of the Major League Baseball postseason at this point, because I know you've been watching. I know Jason's been watching as much as I have been. Jason, if you've been sick, I know there's plenty there. But Liz, give me your first.
You know what? My first kind of hot take is just super elation. I feel like, firstly, I want to say that we know the Blue Jays are not in the postseason this year. And man, is that ever freeing. I'm just enjoying getting to know kind of the rest of the teams a little bit better and seeing some improbable candidates this offseason, such as the Tigers and the Mets. Let's go. You know, I was bummed. I was Philly. I really wanted to see Harper get a ring, but they seem to be having a hard time making it out of the first round of the postseason. But that was a great series too. Like, that was an excellent series. That team, the Phillies, there's so many heavy hitters there. And, you know, while they have been falling short as of late, like, they're still so fun to watch. It's so fun to see Castellanos and just like, and Harper, and I'm missing the main guy who I've forgotten.
Schwarber?
Yeah, Schwarber. There he is, Schwarber. Just like, be the guys. I miss having like a row of the guys on the Jays, you know, like when we had Eddie and when we had Bautista and when we had, I don't know who was else, Donaldson, like a row of just the guys, like, you know, the top of your lineup, get it done, like players. So that was awesome. I really enjoyed that series. I also like was happy that the Mets took it, right? Like, that was great. What a great run they've been on.
Gee.
Yeah, they're doing that.
We'll
that weird,
diving into that one deep soon.
They're doing that OMG stuff. They got Grimace. They got the Haktua girl. I love the Mets owners seem a little bit wild. I love that they are having a great time. And like, I also, you know, in that series, I'm like, I'm seeing both sides. Like, right. So I started this playoffs. This is like a playoffs of like mixed emotions and mixed, I would say, for me, like, I would say, I mean, mixed bandwagons. Like, for me, I kind of like I didn't really pick a team. I thought I want this team to win. But I was like, I don't know. I think I'm pro Dodgers. I went in pretty pro Dodgers. You know, I like Mookie Betts. I like Kiermaier, who didn't make the lineup. I like a lot of the guys in the team, Shohei, Freddie Freeman, a lot of them. So, but I was like, I think I'm gonna go pro Dodgers, which people did not like. I was asked to join so many, like, go on the Dodgers bandwagon, go on the Mets bandwagon. Like, I had people requesting me to join, go on the Guardians bandwagon, but I was like, I'm going Dodgers, which is bad form because that's like saying I want America to win the war. Like, you're like, So, but I still think they're better than the Yanks. But now I've gone Padres. Like, watching the Padres.
There's a catch. We're gonna have a debate on that at the end of the show.
You're
jumping cards.
So I'm pumped. I'm so excited, as I've said 16 times already. And I don't really have a clear winner. I'm just watching the show.
There you go, Jason. Your review of the playoffs so far.
Obviously, I'm let down that the Phillies did not make it through. They are probably my secondary team. They were my favorite team when I was a little kid. So, and I share some of the same sentiment as Liz. I do like their team a lot. I like Trey Turner. I've come to really enjoy Bryce Harper. I like Schwarber. I like Jason Baum. The whole team has a real appeal. And it's like you said, Liz, they seem to be bombers. They seem to be like at any time they can come up and thrill you in a minute. And if we get a chance, Craig, maybe you can flip that video on that I sent you. A friend of mine was actually at game 2. He went to game 1 in New York, and he went to game 2 in Philly. And he actually got a video of the homer Harper hit. And he said that he's like, I've been to a lot of sporting events. I've seen a lot of stuff. And of course, Castellanos walked that thing off. And he said the sound that happened in that stadium just after the bat hit the ball. I mean, everyone knew it as soon as he hit it. It was going to touch the ground. And he said the noise that was made, like you could feel the energy. It was palpable. It was like, he's like, it's like nothing I've ever seen. People living and dying on every pitch. And, Craig and I were talking before we went on, and, it sucks that we don't have that kind of fervor going on for the Jays right now. But that being said, I was pro them. I have a lot of trouble cheering for teams from New York. So, go Mets at a very little level. I like a lot of the players on the Mets, so I'm okay with saying that. Yankees still suck. The big one that I have, and I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this later, is I'm a Dodgers fan because I like some of the players on the team, but I was starting to come around on San Diego, and then Manny Machado went and stuck his foot in it again. And now I hate the Padres. I absolutely can't stand the Padres or Padres fans. If that's the guy that you want to cheer for, a cheater, a rat, then go ahead. You can have it. And I hope the Dodgers come back and they smash them. I hope it's so disgusting that they have to disband the team, and maybe they cut them off the panhandle and float them out. It's brutal.
Jason,
I love this.
Before you go on the rant that you're going to go on, I'll let you do the play-by-play here for your buddy's home run.
Okay, so my buddy Chris Randall flew down from Vancouver with a couple of buddies he played college baseball with. And, I mean, to say it was insane. So Jim Tomei in brown is going to stand up here over on the left. You'll see him. I think he's in this video. There's a guy in a Jim Tomei jersey. And apparently Chris said he was so drunk by the first inning that they couldn't believe this guy was still pounding it. And there he is, right there, Jim Tomei, 25. There he is. Yeah, so apparently he went, there he is. Yes.
He's got his moment of fandom. Jacked up like Travis Kelce in a Bills football game.
Yeah, my buddy Chris actually went over at the end of the game and got a picture of this guy, and he just said the whole thing is so electric. Like landing in New York, you knew like the city is just on a blaze right now with baseball fever. Like everywhere you go, it's Mets v Dodgers, Mets v Yankees, and deep down that would probably be the greatest thing to have happen would be the Mets play the Yankees and the Mets beat the Yankees. I mean, that would be just storybook stuff. But I mean, it's it is what it is, and it's a phenomenal thing. And I thought the Phillies played great. The Mets just played better. There is no special sauce for that one. The Mets just hit the ball all the time. Their 7, 8, 9 hitters were just out of bounds, and they set the table for the guys at the top, and the guys at the top got it done. And who is this Jose Iglesias guy? Like, did he go to space and have some sort of injection and then come back? And they were like, no, you were in the majors already for like 15 years and you were okay. You weren't great. And you hit 377 this year. And did you see the backhand play? He almost
pretty much more of a pop singer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well,
like, guys, unreal.
Like I said, we're going to dive into every individual series. So just like I said, bear with me one bit. And then I want to eventually get to a point on what team you're advocating, and we'll have a nice debate for and tell me why. But we're going to get to those kind of pieces here. So let's see, and we're clearly talking the one series that already is finished with the Philadelphia Phillies v. the Mets. This was a crazy series. There's very pushy pull, but at the end of the day, this was over and done with a lot quicker than I would have ever in a million years imagined, because this is 100%, in my opinion, what the wild card era has done to Major League Baseball. The Mets win the wild card series against the Brew Crew, run steamrolling into this series against the Phillies, who were clearly caught flat-footed, and they were not prepared for the level of what this Mets team is. They weren't prepared for the crazy level of good luck charms that this team has brought with them in their Lucky Charms box of freaking cereal at this point. They have had I don't know if you've all heard all the stories, but the stories are the fact that opening day, they had a Army veteran that came out, and basically he was praying with the players, all this kind of stuff, literally good vibes hex. Then the Grimace thing. Grimace has now become a pop culture thing all over again in New York. And it's not just the McDonald's mascot, the big purple, whatever he is at this point. But did either of you see the video of the guy dressed up as Grimace after the win that tried to get on the subway, and he was more or less mauled?
No, that was a promo. That was before the game. McDonald's got a train and they
the
put him on it. And they put him on it, and they had a social media person out there. And I sent a tweet that said, like, that's a brave guy in that suit, because people mauled him. But like the fact that McDonald's knows what's up, like I don't even think of McDonald's and Grimace anymore. I'm like, that's the Mets guy.
Yeah, that's the Mets mascot. That's number 2 Mets mascot. That might be the best like commercial decision on any corporation or anything like that, with a weird thing that's happened in 6 degrees from baseball. The only one I can think of that was better was, I forget who hit the damn home run in Colorado, but he hit a home run in Coors Field and it hit the Coors can on one of the freaking scoreboards and it blocked out one of the like things. So in Colorado, they had a contest that was with those cans, that they actually started selling the cans with that label on it, with that piece missing on the Coors cans. And if you were one of the ones that got that with a QR code or something in it, you actually had a chance to win something. And I can't remember what the prize was, but it was, I'm sure, pretty fun. But that was just one of those stupid 6 degrees from baseball things that was awesome. And I love what's going on with the Grimace thing. Did you know they even have his own seat autographed and everything? It's purple.
It's purple.
In Citi Field.
Like, I love that. Like, for me, like, that's the gimmicks that I enjoy. It would get my friends who are not into baseball more involved in baseball. So good on them.
And Pete Alonso's wearing purple cleats and using a purple bat. Like, he's all in for the Grimace stuff. And I think my favorite was they were showing the game in Philadelphia, and the I can't remember who it was. It was their 9-hitter hit his second home run of the game. And all of the Philadelphia fans are just like heads down, and they're panning through the crowd, and all of a sudden it stops in a dude in a Grimace costume who's by himself. There's Philly fans to the left and the right, and this dude, no reaction. He's not arms waving or anything. He's just sitting there calmly being Grimace, just grimacing it up. So I mean, that kind of stuff. It's where legends are made. It's where stuff like this. You know, it's the GOAT for the Cubs. It's all kinds of stuff that sticks with these teams forever. Like, you know, it's a little interesting when it is something that is marketed by a massive company that is, you know, is gaining some traction by this. I mean, I'm sure that do you guys see that they've got a Grimace shake now coming out, and it's like, it's purple and it's got like,
you would think it's got to have like blue and orange M&Ms in it or something like that.
I think it's got birthday cake
cocktail.
Yes, birthday cake or something weird in it. Anyways, awesome. I love that kind of stuff when guys are changing their gear to match the color of some weird thing that they've got as a, you know, because baseball, you know, as we all know, is one of the most superstitious sports there is. You know, Serrano needs some extra
superstitious.
Chicken.
There's the last good luck charm. Did you see what after the clinch, the wild card game, did you see what Pete Alonso happened to be strutting around, like holding like it was a small child that he's been carrying around since?
This the pumpkin?
It is 100% the pumpkin that him and his wife went and bought while they were in Milwaukee that day that they clinched the series. It's still in his locker. He's carrying it around like it's a good luck charm, making sure he's taking good care of it, petting it.
Awesome.
But those are the kind of stupid things, Jason, like, and Liz, like, that are those great stories around the game that you don't hear those things in football, hockey, those kind of things. Those are the kind of things you hear only, like, even like behind the scenes, not as much anyways. But maybe that's because there is just that much extra spare time in baseball that you do get to hear some of these stories. But let's talk the series itself. Unless you got something to add.
No, let's go.
Liz.
Let's go.
So Mets lead off the series, win 6-2 in rather epic fashion, as we all heard. And then the Phillies fight back. It's game 2, 7-6. Game 3, eventually, like we were talking about, led to another Mets victory and 4-1 series wins. So I missed one in there, I know.
No, you did.
So I did. It was Tuesday night, 7-2, and then the 4-1 win out last night. So 4 games, and the last 2, the Mets really kind of embarrassed the Philadelphia Phillies. This wasn't just a running amok, kind of running with it. You know, a 7-2 victory with 9 hits and watching Sean Manaea, all people, run through it, which also good story there too. I don't know if I can't remember which family member it was, but somebody died in his family, and he came out of that series and pitched one of the best games he's pitched.
It's wild.
So wild. But how could you epically finish that series any better than watching what Francisco Lindor did with the bases loaded? Jason, walk me through it.
Well, I mean, I was watching it, and you're sitting there, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, the pitcher threw an amazing pitch on the batter before to get the force out at home. I mean, it's a tumbling changeup that the guy can't get around on, and he hits it hard into the turf. Easy for Trey Turner to come home with it. By the way, if you watch that replay back again, Trey Turner almost airmailed that over Real Muto's head. Like, he just put a little flip on it. And one of the things that I think that really played into the Phillies not playing very well was the fact that they were half-assing it a bit. I think that they expected to beat the Mets, and when they weren't, they were like, what's going on here? But then just never, other than Castellanos and Harper, no one really kicked it into high gear to try and make the any kind of a change. But I mean, he's sitting on a 3-0 pitch, and I mean, arguably, he's in the discussion for MVP this year of the season. And how do you go throw this guy middle? Like, it just, I don't care how hard you throw it. He's an excellent hitter. I mean, you just can't, you can walk the one run in, do that. Like, just don't give him something that he can put into the parking lot. And unfortunately did. And
exactly what happened.
That's what the Phillies pitchers did, though. They served up pitches to
2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Lindor was cold. And they woke his ass up.
Yeah, overconfident. They thought they could get guys out. It's the same as like last night with the guy throwing, he's throwing over 100 and he's just ripping them right down Main Street. These guys are good enough that they will catch up. You throw that 3 times, the third time it's going somewhere. And that's what happens.
Yeah, we'll get to Michael Kopech right here in a second. So, because that guy has got some smoke, to your point, Jason, but dear God, can't throw it completely across the street all the time, right?
No.
So,
I mean, overall,
go ahead.
I think my take on the whole series is just like I said. The Phillies kind of cruised in thinking they were going to kick the crap out of the Mets. I don't disagree with you that the wild card does create momentum for teams. Anyone who says that sports doesn't have momentum is wrong. They come in hot. Pete Alonso was 0 for like 400, and then he hits a big home run. And then from that point on, he's been hitting everything that isn't nailed down. Lindor is Lindor. And then, like I said before, the bottom of the Mets order changed that series. Their 7, 8, 9 hitters got on base. They got hits. They got timely runs in. They scored the middle of their order and allowed the top to get back up. And that's what you have to do. And the Phillies just did not do that well enough.
Then the flip side of that coin is the Phillies 5 through 9 guys couldn't hit their way out of a brown paper bag.
Terrible.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like 2 for 29 or something like that.
Do you remember last year when the Phillies, the lineup just went silent? All the bats just sort of went zoop, and they just didn't hit. They were up. I think they were up in the series, and then they did play at home, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah. It's a bit of their MO right now. You almost want, as a Philly fan, you almost want them to get into the wild card game so they get the engines rolling before they get there, or there has to be a change made to allow those teams that are sitting ice cold to at least have some sort of a, I don't know how you would do it, but yeah.
So for Blue Jays fans, here's your 6 degrees. John Gibbons gets to move on to another round of Major League Baseball playoffs.
Woo, woo. I know. I have this tweet. Okay, I have this picture I took in a hotel room in 2016, I think. And every time I tweet it, people go crazy. And it is a picture of John Gibbons just smiling, and he had been ejected from every game that week. It's just ejection, 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 ejection. And so
on your Twitter account.
Yeah, good for Gibby. Good for Gibby. Good. I don't know. It's fun. It's also I saw Tim Leeper, our old third base coach, for third base or first base. I think third base coach.
Third, I think.
Third. He was.
Would this be that one image you're
Yeah,
retweeting?
Yeah, it's ejected, suspended, ejected.
Yeah,
all in the same week. It's the best.
Perfect. Best week in baseball.
Yeah. Anyway, and so it's fun to see Tim Leeper up with the Padres. It's fun to see Gibby back because both those guys were gone from baseball for a while. So I'm just delighted that they're back.
There was another former Blue Jay at that last game, too, that I happened to stumble upon while I was floating around Twitter and whatnot. JP Arancibia was there visiting Gibby that night.
Well, he's not on the. He's on the. Is Arancibia? Is he not on the broadcast team for one of them?
He was for a minute.
I thought he was doing something for the Mets, but I didn't know if it was broadcast. But I just thought that was kind of cool that the two of them happened to be in the ballpark. Nice little piece.
You know who's bad at broadcasting?
Who? TBS.
AJ Brzezinski.
Bob Costas lately.
And Bob Costas. Holy. I mean, there is something romantic
voice
about
still
Bob's
there, but I
voice.
feel he's going still Nile. Yeah.
I mean, there is something romantic about Bob's voice. But he's kind of getting to Bob Cole, for the NHL, where he's just saying things that don't really mean anything towards what is happening. And he'll just say something weird, and then you're like, wait a second, what did you just say? And then you just roll on, because it's Costas, and his voice is like, sports angel singing. But I mean, you are right. And AJ Brzezinski's terrible. I mean, he obviously
has that man's allowed to have a microphone.
He has bias, he's a bit of a jerk. So I don't know.
That's why he has a microphone, because that's the American way here on sports podcasting.
Is Costas on the radio broadcast? Because that would be a disaster. Like, if you didn't have the visual of what was happening, you wouldn't know what was happening.
You have no idea.
There was a game and people were playing that game. Yeah, that was it.
That was my gripe a little bit with the Blue Jays broadcast there when they got away from doing some of the stuff. When you had Buck and Schulman doing the broadcast, they're painting a picture for you. But when it was Buck and Tabby before that, and they were just rebroadcasting the Sportsnet feed on the radio, I was like, what in the F is actually going on? I love hearing them when I'm watching the game, but on the radio was not the same thing.
It's true. It was very confusing. I do miss Pat Tabler, that smiling son of a bitch, all the time. But
I agree with that statement. I was
not
trying
to. It is true. That was an absolute disaster. Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I like to listen to the baseball game while I'm in the bathtub. All right, and I sit in the bathtub, I unwind, and I put on my AM radio, which is why you still need a radio these days. And I was so confused. I was like, I can't do this right now, because it was unintelligible.
Most people put on the Zen music and get candles out.
I shout at my radio.
And Liz has got the radio sitting there, and she's got some little block of wood that she's making the noises for the ball hitting the bat, and
just chugging a beer. Anyway, that's me.
There it is. Good times. So let's move on to the other series a little bit here. Let's stay in the National League. Let's talk Dodgers Padres, to the disdain of a few people, I think, in this conversation, knowing where Jason was going a few minutes ago, and the fact that I still have massive Orioles hate for the fact of Manny Machado when he was playing with the Orioles. I just don't want to see that man win anything. And I think I'm being proven right a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But to that point, it has been an interesting series. And obviously the next game is this evening at 8:00. So right about when we're going to be wrapping up this show. But to that point, Liz, let's
go. I have things to say. So I have been so excited for this series. So the first game was insane. It was in LA. Tensions were high. There was LA fans throwing things at the outfielders for the Padres. They were throwing beer into the dugouts. It was totally insane. And let me tell you, I was delighted. And then, so that happens, and things are going wild. I think the Dodgers won that one, right? I think Dodgers won it. And then I think one of the pitchers got robbed that night. Anyway, I was delighted. And then the Padres, I think won. No. Padres won eventually at Petco, which was.
You want me to give you the rundown here, and then I get you going?
I'm just gonna keep making shit up. So then, and I was like, I think the Dodgers are gonna win it, but no, Petco was electric, and that was a blast. Then last night, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I tell all my buddies, like, you got to watch this baseball game. It's going to be unreal. There's probably going to be a fight, but the baseball style fight where people just get up and shove each other and everyone's too bitch ass to throw a punch, like, it's going to be that. No, nothing happened. The Dodgers took it 8-0. The wind was knocked out of the Padres' sails, much to Jason's delight. And like, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm into the Padres team because, like, damn, Tatis Jr. is such a babe. Like, he's so flashy and so good at baseball, and he's got these sexy wiggles. I'm just like, you get yours. But like Machado,
he definitely pimps that home run well. I'm not gonna lie; it doesn't look like a jackass when he's doing it, but he does.
I
it
love
well.
it. I love it.
Go ahead.
But anyway, Machado's been a villain forever. And like, I hate him, but like, I'm having a delight with this whole situation. It's kind of like when you hate watch Real Housewives. It's like that. So that's me and the Padres right now having a blast. Jason.
Jason.
You know what? I fully agree with you on Tatis. I mean, obviously he's had his issues with steroids and a few other things, and so it was
ringworm. It was, obviously ringworm.
Yeah, it's also to Jose Canseco had a shitload of ringworm then.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, I'm a purist. The only guy that I've ever sort of given a pass to when it comes to the purity of the game is David Ortiz. I mean, he never really got caught. And he was in an era when if you weren't doing roids, then you were an anomaly. You were not part of the game. So I'll let Poppy have a pass on that one. And his personality helps. So that's where you turn on the other one, where I've tried to give Manny a bit of a benefit of the doubt. I love the Padres uniforms, so that sort of sucked me back into and they've got that great kid playing in center field, and they've got some good stories. And then Freddie Freeman tries to make a play on 2, and Manny Machado runs into the infield, which first and foremost, if you know baseball, if you know the rules, he's out. He's out. There is as soon as that ball hits him, he's out. He tried to influence the play by coming off the baseline. It hit him. He's out. So it's a blown call on the field, which is a joke in the playoffs. Like, not only that, but I don't know if you guys have seen the umping in some of the series.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Brutal. So
it's rough.
We have that situation. But the game before, when all the madness was happening, Manny actually did a really amazing interview where I was like, oh, maybe this guy has totally changed. Like, he was talking about how much he enjoyed it and how much, he loves for other fans and all of this, all of the right things to say. And then he goes and does that. And, it's one of those things where it's similar to my dislike for the Yankees. Like, I just can't stand the way that, like, Juan Soto misses that ball last night. Like, why are you diving for that? Like what in your brain says to you, there's 2 outs, I'm going to try and make a hero play. I'm a mid outfielder at best, and I'm going to try and make a top tier play. And I mean, it's great to watch because I like watching them pooch it. But then he stands up and he's got this look on his face like, I make a lot of money. I'll be fine. Like it's. Yeah, I'm fine.
400 million this offseason, not a big deal, right?
The other one, and
that's what he's asking.
Well, I'll save this for when we talk about the other series, but just to watch Juan Carlos Stanton's cocky, ridiculous self when that guy says, hey, do you know the only person that's done this for the hit a home run in the 8th inning to win? You're in rare air with Babe Ruth. Shut up. Like, did you just honestly compare Juan Carlos Stanton to Babe Ruth? Like, if that's the case,
9 billion career strikeouts.
More than that. The guy has struck out more than some teams. Like, it's nuts. So, I mean, I think some of it's so ridiculous, but I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, the Padres are for real, and they want. And I mean, the Dodgers as well, man. The Dodgers smacked them in the mouth in front of their home fans. Like, that was, I don't know if you watched that game.
Yep.
It probably could have been 15 or 16-0.
Oh.
And I felt like, when
Easy.
a cat has a mouse and it's kind of just batting it back and forth. And I felt like that's what, like, sort of like the 6th, 7th, 8th inning where the Dodgers are just like,
Oh.
Get it.
And they had Theron come in and he's just ripping balls by them. Like, the Padres look like they never see it, and they don't want anything to do with this dude. And now he's fresh. he's ready to go.
There's some magic going on behind me. Colt Keith. Oh no, sorry, history. We gotta bring out the home run pizza thing, whatever the hell they do with it.
What's the score of that game?
We are tied 2-2. Zach McKinstry in the bottom of the 5th has tied it up with a solo home run. So that is awesome fun going on in Detroit.
I love both of those teams. Let me just be clear. Let me be clear to everybody. I like both of those teams. I don't care who wins, who comes out of it. I like both of them. I'd love to see the Tigers get through, but four Canadians on the Guardians make it hard for me not to cheer.
High outside Oppo Taco. Yeah, pretty interesting. But yeah, good stuff. Hot off the presses, live baseball tonight. Yeah. So before we die, is there anything else you want to add on those 2 National League series before I give us some middle ground here and when we move to the American League?
Nope, we're good.
Good. So the middle ground is we have this wonderful sponsor that we're going to make some picks tonight for the Yankee game, as much as I don't want to, but we're going to do it anyway. So our
is there one for one John Concarlos strikeouts at 4?
I think one of them's got to be. Let's go. So if anybody has been living under the rock last few weeks, we are being sponsored by Underdog Fantasy Sports. We're wrapping up the baseball season with them, and then we'll move into some stupid football fun here because why not?
Yeah. Why not?
But we do have some money to play around with here and show you how nice and easy the interface is and how fun it is to do it. We're breaking even basically at this point because I'm a horrible person at picking things, and for everything we've won as a group, we've also lost. So we're right around the $150 we started with. But to that point, it's been 2 weeks and we're still at the exact same spot, so we can't be doing too bad. So you all see it tonight. We got Garrett Cole, Michael Wacha is the main pitching at 8:00 this evening. Over under on strikeout, or sorry, higher lower on strikeouts, not over unders. That's how they call it on here. Bobby Witt Jr., Juan Soto. Let's see if we can go down and find the Giancarlo Stanton one, and there is one there, Jason. Let's see if there is anything on strikeouts, because that would be a fun one just to do. And no, that would be too easy.
Are they really saying that they're giving him 2.5 home runs? Can we go under?
What they're saying is it's a higher lower on home run, so it's higher only is the pick. So if he hits a home run,
no.
So he's the metric's 0.5.
No.
So
what else we got in there?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of betting on Giancarlo Stanton to do anything.
What about? Is there anything for Bobby Witt? What do you got? He's on fire right now. He's gonna have a big game tonight.
Oh yeah. Do you think he comes up clutch for the home run?
Ooh, let's do it.
You want to do it? Have some fun?
What do you think, Liz?
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Bobby Witt's gonna do it. Yeah.
Go. So Bobby Witt Jr., we're gonna put Mark in for a home run. Good God, there's a lot of Bobby Witt Jr. on here.
What's the pitcher for the Royals?
RBIs. The pitcher for the Royals is Michael Wacha.
Waka.
Who's had a really good resurgent season. We could be these people in this bet higher on the strikeouts. I think that's under his K per 9.
Why don't we go on the because again, we can maybe put the Audi symbol in front of Garrett Cole there and challenge him to come across.
This is what I did the other night. I actually came in here and found his pitching, and I looked up his K per 9 value.
There you go. And listeners of the show, remember your secret code is Jaybird, capital JAYBIRD, and that gets you a free pick and I think some bonus cash when you make your first deposit.
It gives you a chance to win some extra money, is what I recall it being.
Yeah.
But either way, lock that thing in.
Let's go.
So
let's go runs on Garrett Cole. Just go back to this. Let's go. Yeah, let's say he's gonna get.
You think this is a game that they're gonna go there? So there's that. We gotta have 3 picks, remember. So we gotta pick one more. Now we already got when you're picking within a game, you got to pick one from each team. You can't just go all Yankees or all Royals.
I like that about Underdog actually. What do we got for? Is there anything fun off the top for Jazz Chisholm there?
Jazz Chisholm, go reaching deep. There's some easy ones that you would think he's going to get a total base.
Yeah,
batting ahead of some of those guys. Want to do that and just get the safe one for the third pick?
I like it. I like it.
All right. But yeah, that's easy. And now all you do is you type in what you want to bet and you let it go. So it lets us you can either get 17 times the amount right now with what we picked for standard, had to get all 3 of those items correct.
Want that. I want 17.
So, yeah.
I want 17. I want that.
So if I threw $10 in, that's $170.
Let's do that.
And then the next piece of that is, like I said, if you do a quote unquote flex bid is what their other option is, which is a quote unquote safer one. You don't have to get all 3 right, but
we're not doing that today, sir. We're not doing that.
Go big or go home.
Why is it
Let's
not?
Go.
Why is it not letting me do it? Hold on, I can't read what's going on here. Anyway, I'll figure it out and get it locked in. But that's the bets. We'll make it happen.
Underdog fantasy.
Oh, exactly. So make sure you use that code JBird or JBird, all caps. Simple as that. So let's talk that series because the game is going to start shortly. And the more we can talk about the Tigers here closer to the end of the game will be easier. So we got Garrett Cole, Michael Wacha this evening playing for I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a chance for the Yankees to unfortunately win tonight and clinch it. Ugh.
Guys, I feel bad. I actually want the Yankees to make through the series, and then I want them to lose.
Why do I feel like you want to get them up to the highest of all where they think they're running it, and then you want to watch them get pounced by the Tigers?
I kind of do, and the thing is, I know all of sports broadcasting is super horny for a Yankees Dodgers World Series. I'm like, fuck, frigate, give me Padres Tigers or something. Give me some underdogs. I'll watch it.
I want the Tigers one way or the other at this point. But Jason, what are you thinking about this series? Because it's been until last night's game, honestly, it's been a very odd, low-scoring affair for most of it.
Well,
They're right on top of each other.
I think the biggest thing is, the Royals big bats have gone quiet. Like Bobby Witt until last night, I don't think he had a hit, maybe one. So he seems to be rounding back into form here. He seems to be, catching up to the moment. Maybe, I fear that unfortunately for the Royals, they have a few guys that are lost in the sauce a little bit right now. But that being said, the Yankees certainly don't look like they're any kind of super team. They're making lots of mistakes. They're making lots of pitching mistakes. And it's weird because for as small of a yard as Yankee Stadium is, no one was hitting the ball out. And the home runs that have been hit have been just baby shots. They've just been barely getting out. So, it's one of those strange ones that, I feel like if the Royals can win tonight in any kind of in any kind of powerful way, if they can win by 2 or 3 or even more, I think that puts the Yankees on their heels, and I don't know if they come back from it. If the Yankees can score early in the game tonight, I think the Royals are done. And between you, me, and the fence post, I don't disagree with Liz. The Yankees probably deserve to move on to the second round. They're a good team, but I can still not want it to happen.
Yep.
As Blue Jays fans, I can't root for the Yankees. It's that simple. Sorry, my brother Kevin. I can't do that. I can't root for your team for anything. So, no, I agree. But to me, it's just been an underwhelming series that they can't get that last bit going. Like I said, they're right on top of each other with every game with the scores. Last night, Bobby Witt Jr. was 90 feet away, and Yuli Gurriel couldn't get the clutch hit to get him in to tie the ball game up at 3. It was just, I feel like that's the story of the series. Just right there. One of those teams hasn't been able to run away with it. And I'm hoping whoever scores tonight, to your point, Jason, is the one that runs away with tonight. And I really, really, really hope it's the Royals. And that's saying a lot as a Blue Jays fan, too. Just saying that one hurt a little bit, but it doesn't hurt as much as rooting for the Yankees.
True story.
True story. True that. And the Royals have cuter hats. I'm just going to straight up say it. I like the blue and white, but they also have the little white on the top. And I respect that.
I just want to see I want to see the last game of this series turn into a pine tar incident with George Brett.
Ooh,
that's all.
Let's go.
See something wild happen with the Yankees.
You know what really bothered me was, and this is classic of the some of the people I don't like in sports, but they show Patrick Mahomes in the luxury suite, and he marches all the way down to
Chirping.
the end to get right in the face of his friend who's wearing a Yankees gear, and then they promptly lose. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Can we just gas it with showing Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and anyone who doesn't have to do anything with the game? Like, just to stop, please.
Yeah.
And because it's bad mojo. And I think, like, it's funny because you're watching it and he does it and you're like, don't do that. Don't.
Yeah,
Why would you?
it was awkward. That was weird, and I was like, that's bad for him. No one wants. Yeah, no one wants to party with that guy.
No.
In American sports, that has become the crazy weird thing that they do in all, like, in football games. That they're always showing, where's Taylor Swift? Oh my God, she's rooting for her boyfriend. Oh my God. And then now it's spilling in other sports just because
It's true.
they
And
think
like,
that's going to get them more views and
honestly,
all that kind of good stuff.
that got me watching football. I did start watching football because Taylor Swift was at the game. Straight up.
Did you guys see Belichick on the Mannings?
No.
Yeah.
So the Manning show was on last Monday night.
Manning cast.
Yeah, Manning cast. And they had Bill Belichick on. And Taylor Swift came onto the screen. And I don't know if Belichick's mic was supposed to be muted or not, but he's like, oh God. And both Eli and Peyton start laughing so hard. And they try to bring something up to get him talking about it. And Belichick's just like,
yeah, well played.
Yep. Wait, just so good. Like, so good.
Your stupid face.
Your stupid face.
Oh God! As a Bills fan, I have nothing but disdain for him and Tom Brady. Just saying. So, anyways, that's that series. Who you rooting for tonight? I think we got that established.
I'm 50-50. Honestly, this is one where I'm just excited to get on to finish this and go upstairs, and we're going to go for a happy hour. Our boys are playing in their last practice for trying out for this PBL team, and a couple of the parents are cruising over to Goodco. Goodco's a good place, and we're going to have a couple of beers. They got a really nice happy hour, and we're going to watch the end of this game and watch the start of the next one. And
I love that it's a reasonable hour for you. I love that.
Yeah, it's only like 4:52 right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing for me is I don't know of any other time of the year where I could say to a good buddy, hey, do you want to take your wife with my wife and go watch baseball at a bar? And they're like, yes, I do. Like it just doesn't happen. And so, it's really fun. And I find it, like a series like this where, Tigers win, awesome story. Guardians win, awesome story. Like, I mean, there's really no bad story in this one. I don't know how you would not like either team. I mean, I know that there's deep-rooted, hatred for all kinds of teams down in the US, but I mean, I've liked the Indians since they were the Indians. I've always had an affinity for them with Major League. I have a Rick Vaughn jersey upstairs. It's part of the fabric of my life. I've seen that movie so many times that whenever I see the now Guardians, I'm like, Major League. And so, they've got that. And I loved Magnum PI as well. So let's go full Taylor Swift on this and just have nothing to do with the baseball and cheer for the other parts of it. You're either cheering for Major League or you're cheering for Magnum PI. One of the two.
Love it.
There it is. Good deal. But to that point, that series, I really, to your point, I want to see the Cinderella story that is the Detroit Tigers continuing to move on. But I don't have anything against the Cleveland Guardians. And right now, the reason the score is what it is like I said, because of a Tigers home run, and the one that put the Guardians up before that was another Jose Ramirez home run. So
God, he's so good. That guy.
He's
so good.
Is he the most underrated player in baseball?
Right,
I think so.
He very well might be. If not, he's at the near top of that list. Go ahead, listen.
Very much near the top.
Like, anyway. I think so. I don't know, maybe because like he just seems to go to work every day and then do really.
They also ran a really amazing promo on him about all the stuff he does in the city of Cleveland.
Yeah,
and,
he loves Cleveland.
And back home, he's always sending money back to the town he's from in the DR. And I mean, he seems like the guy that gets no run that's doing everything right, and so hats off to a guy like that who's hey, here's a little trivia question. Now that I mentioned Magnum PI, do you guys remember the dogs' names on Magnum PI, the two Dobermans?
Must miss that one, man.
Zeus and Apollo.
There you go.
There it is.
One of my weird. I was a big Higgins fan.
Yeah, no, my only Magnum PI reference / trivia stuff is the fact that Tom Selleck actually was almost Indiana Jones. Just saying.
Yeah.
Let me
I
haunt
see
your
that.
brain with that. Let me haunt your brain with that one just a
Yeah.
little bit longer.
He turned it down, didn't he?
Scheduling conflict with Magnum PI.
Yeah. He turned it down.
He had to, I think. Contract.
We could do a whole podcast on the ridiculous people who've turned down roles and they were epic movies, and the person who would have
I'm sure
played
somebody
them
already has that.
would have ruined them.
It's true. And like, but that's fate though.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about baseball. So right now in the Jays kind of Twitterverse, etc., everybody's like, are we gonna get Soto? But we almost got, who did we almost get? We almost got Lindor. We almost got this person. And I'm like, no, I
That's
didn't,
the
bud.
best one lately.
No, we didn't, because we don't have them. So it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Get over it. Go out with somebody else.
Yep. Go out with somebody else.
Mhm.
Very Gilmore Girls of you.
Good.
True. That's right
Yeah.
from Wayne's World. That is direct quote from Wayne's World. But also, I do love Gilmore Girls, and I will be rewatching shortly for the
No
fall.
stairway.
And
Denied.
I'm denied. I'm declaring, and I declare Team Logan. Thank you.
There it is. Good times. So, talking Tiger series, they are going into the bottom of the 6th right now, tied 2-2. Tigers are up 2-1. They could clinch it into Detroit tonight within 3 innings here if they happen to score one more run. What do you guys think?
Well, the city needs it. I mean, talk about a city that's had the shit kicked out of it for the last 15 years. I mean,
Detroit versus the world.
Yeah, they're trying to rebuild the Red Wings right now. And I mean, these guys were 15 games out 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Like they were
They
behind
had a
the
record
Blue
that
Jays.
shared hours.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you got to love a Cinderella story. You got to love, I like that they've been dragging up all the old Tigers stories and all that stuff, because there's some good ones. There's some good Tiger stories from past. They're part of baseball lore. Interesting fact, I was talking to my wife yesterday, and she said, "Who are the Guardians playing?" And I said, "The Tigers." And she was like, "The Tigers? There's a baseball team called the Tigers?" I was like, "Yeah, the Detroit Tigers." She's like, "Oh God, I never put those two things together." Like, she knew there was a team there. She just never knew they were called the Tigers, because they've been so irrelevant for the last however long. They don't even really exist on most people's radars, which is awesome and awful.
Look at it.
It's true.
And that says a lot with the teams that they put out there. Come on, 2 of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball in the last 20 years have come from Detroit with Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. You had Victor Martinez, Miguel Cabrera. Pick a name in Major League Baseball. You could have just said Miguel
Cabrera. Yeah, you could have just said Miguel Cabrera and been like, "Oh, that's it. Mic drop."
Yep. Check.
Triple crown.
All right. So the biggest reason I want the Tigers to win is I'm looking forward to the baseball Twitter world freaking blowing up afterwards. And I'm looking forward to seeing the infinite comparisons to what will probably be the Yankees and what will probably be against the Tigers, right? Those are the way the series are leaning right now. So let's say that happens. I'm waiting for somebody to post like the dodgeball reference of Globo Gym versus Average Joe's.
Yeah.
Pick a thing here like that. So, and if anybody's out there, go ahead and feel free to use that one. I don't care. Just tag Jaybird watching. So, anyways, I want to end the show because we have internal thing we actually have to resolve. And I think I found the stupid gesture here that we can play around with here to actually break this tie. The two of you are tied for our victor as Picks to Click. And this is the first show we've actually been on all together in 2-3 weeks, because Liz, you were on with me 2 weeks ago. Jason, you were on with me last week. And now finally we are back here to talk Jaybird watching and Major League Baseball fun here. And I have a preview of one of the things we're going to do over the off season here on the show, which is a Guess That Blue Jays contest. And I have the trivia questions that will lead one of you to victory. You ready?
Yeah, I'm game.
All right.
Great, let's go.
So
is it a buzz in?
I promise I'm not being too mean with this, Liz.
Okay.
This wouldn't be the ones I would grade as a hard, but I think I threw enough vague things in here that will trick Jason up too. So I think I leveled the playing field.
Is it a buzz in? Are we buzzing in, or is it back and forth?
This is the first to shout the name out kind of thing, because
No,
I'm not that organized.
Fine, let's go. I'm just going to shout any name. Let's get it.
She's just going to start rifling off things.
Yeah.
So the point would be it can be anybody associated or played with the Blue Jays. So it can be somebody like Cito Gaston, to your tweet out earlier that he's apparently shopping himself around for being back in Toronto.
He's not. No,
Go
he's
on.
not. He's
I know you
joining the
wanna talk
Toronto.
about it.
He's joining the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball club. I'm so excited for a couple games next season. He'll be in town. I'm gonna get drunk on a hill and shout at Cito Gaskin, but only compliments. Only compliments.
Only nice things.
Only nice things.
Yeah. Yeah, like what you guys seen that guy that does the chirps from the San Francisco Giants and always shouts the weird, stupid things at him?
You look like you do your taxes on time.
You tell me so we can do that. Exactly. But to that point, so like I said, it can be 6 degrees from Blue Jays or it can be an actual player. I just want to paint the picture here. So first things first, I am part of baseball's legacy of family. So my family has had multiple players from the family. So the lineage of that family.
Do I only have one shout or many
pieces.
shouts? Do I have many shouts or just one?
You can give me one and then let's trade off. So Liz, if you got one on your mind,
Roberto Alomar.
That'll make it a little more
organized. I go Roberto Alomar.
That'd be a great guess, but the answer is no. So Jason, do you have a chirp back? We'll do 3 strikes and you strike out.
Kevin Biggio.
Or that would have been another good guess, but no. You want to do another one, or you want me to do a second?
Give me another
one. Clue.
Next clue. He's a pitcher with a career 138 and 121 record.
Is it Todd Stottlemyre? Todd Stottlemyre.
Roger Clemens.
Shit, Liz has got it. It's Todd Stottlemyre.
I have his baseball card. I cheated.
Stottlemyre.
The next one was 3-time World Series champion. The next one I was just going to be saying he was a recent guest on this show.
Yeah, there we
go. So to that point, Jason, I hope that wasn't too mean.
Nope. Perfect.
I'm confused. I'm also confused. Who won? Did I win? Did he win?
You won.
Jason,
you just won with Todd Stottlemyre.
Let's
Todd
both
just won you our championship.
There we go. I share my championship with my friend Jason. Let's go.
We'll get a belt. Sure.
Let's go. So, but to that point, obviously, I had to put a cap on our picks to click. That was the only way because you guys both ended with the season tied. I'm in a glorious last place, and the guest spot won even over me as this horrible host of this show.
I'm trash at pick to click. I just kept picking Vladdy. Like, that was it, man. Like, I've been asked to join, what is it? A baseball league with you pick
fantasy baseball.
Fantasy baseball, which I thought it was going to be sexy guys like centaurs playing baseball. It's not. It's just more for nerds. So I'll be joining a fantasy baseball league, and I thought I could just pick a lot of Vladdy, but apparently you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't pick like the same guy.
No.
Vladdy is only one man, except for his dad. He's a different Vladdy Guerrero.
This sounds like a weekly segment now on the show next year, Jason. You and I are going to have to help Liz with her fantasy baseball team.
Guys, I'm going to outsource the shit out of this. I'm so excited to involve everybody in my fantasy baseball team. Again, it's not half men, half animals with 6-packs playing baseball. Don't be alarmed. Again, it's for nerds.
Winter is not coming.
No.
Winter isn't coming. Yeah, but it might be the north, just saying, because it's starting to get pretty damn cold out up here in New York, just like I know it is up there too. So, but yeah, had to crown the victor. So technically, we got co-champions because Liz is sharing it.
Let's go.
So, but is there anything baseball postseason, anything topics that you two would like to do before we wander off here after our hour?
No, I want to get to watching the game and having a beer.
Yeah, I also want that for us all.
There's going to be an epic finish. I have a strange feeling here to this game behind me. So let's get to that. So Blue Jays fans, thank you very much for all of you joining. We had plenty of comments out there this evening. I'm sorry we didn't get to any of them. Michelle, I know you got all sorts of good things here, including the fact that we got a go Gibby from you. Make sure we get that shout out to you like we do every other week, and we're going to get you on the show soon. I promise. Next pieces to that, we will be back next Thursday live once again. Join us for Jaybird Watching Podcast, your barroom chat for, I guess, all things baseball over the next few weeks until we get to full off season mode. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. There'll be more crazy stuff going on. We will have fun. And then the off season, we got all sorts of crazy fun for you too. So make sure you tune in. We are still here all day, every day for Blue Jays baseball and whatever happens. Anything else? All right.
Get it.
Game on. Let's go. Go Tigers.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!